right, guys, welcome back to 5.3, dividing polynomials. In this one, we're going to explore long division. You guys, so when we can always use long division when we're dividing by a polynomial that has more than one term. You can't use that dividing by a monomial trick that we learned in the last video. It's a little bit more complex using the long division. Why am I wearing a mask? I forgot to take it off. I just talked to a teacher and he came in here and now I don't need the mask anymore. Okay. All right, long division is pretty cool. It's the same long division you learned in 4th grade. So let's think back to that. My hair is all messed up. I need to get a back to school haircut before I see you guys. All right, so with long division, we're in 3rd grade. How many times did 2 go into 17? Well, we'll go 8 times. And then you multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. And then you subtract. 17 minus 16 is 1. And then you bring down the 3. And how many times did 2 go into 13? 6 times. And 6 times 2 is 12. And then you subtract. You get a 1 and a 9. And then how many times did 2 go into 19? Will be 9 times. And you multiply. 18, and you subtract, and you get 1. And 2 doesn't go into 1. And that was what we would call our remainder. Well, there was different ways to write the remainder. You give it like R1. But one way to write it, and the way that we're going to write our polynomials, is just to say plus 1 over 2. Because the answer is 869 and a half. And that is how we are going to write this one. Notice the process. We subtracted, we multiplied, we subtracted, and how many times would it go in? And you repeat it. Multiply, subtract, how many times would it go in? It's the same thing here. So when I do this one, the first thing I'm going to do is write it in the long division form. I'm going to put x minus 2 into 2x squared plus x minus 10. And then the one thing that maybe is a little different, so I went from here to that long division form. But we're going to look just at this first term and see how many times does x go into 2x squared. There's a couple of different ways to look at it. Well, what would I have to multiply to x to get it to 2x squared? I would need to multiply it by a 2 and also an x, because 2 times x is 2x squared. Let me give you another way to look at it. How many times does x go into 2x squared? Just like here, we did 17 divided by 2 to get 8, right? Well, here I could do 2x squared divided by x, and then I'm going to have this x canceling one of these x's, and I'd be left with just 2x. That's how we get that number. Now, after I got the 8 here, I multiplied 8 times 2 to get this 16. Well, now that I got this 2x, we're going to multiply. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 2 is minus 4x. So, in the long division we did in 1st grade, after we multiply, we subtracted, right? What do you think I'm going to do now? I'm going to subtract. So 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. X minus negative x would be minus that. This also gets a little tricky right here with the minusing of the negatives. Remember I said to add the opposite, so that would be x plus 4x, which would be 5x minus 10. Now how many times does x go into 5x? What would you have to multiply x by so that it would be 5x? Or what is 5x over x? Well, it's 5. So we have x goes into 5x 5 times. And then after we get here, we multiply. So 5 times x is 5x. If you do it correctly, the first term that you multiply will always be the same as what's right above it. And 5 times negative 2 is minus 10. And we subtract, and we get 0, which means this one does not have a remainder. Does not have a remainder. All right, guys, I have got a neat one for you to try. Let's do x minus 1 into 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x minus 1. One more ticket. Try it on your own. Try it on your own. Try it on your own. I kind of told you how to write the remainder with the other video, or with that, not with the other video, with the example from grammar school, when you guys were in grammar school. But this one, I might have a remainder. We'll see. And anyhow, all right, let's see. I paused it, so in real life, some of you hopefully finished. All right, how many times is x going to 3x cubed? 3x squared, right? And then I multiply. 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. 3x squared times negative 1 is minus 3x squared. Now I'm going to subtract. So 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is 0. Now again, this is the part where I feel like it's a little tricky because the negatives get a little tricky. Negative 5x squared minus negative 3x squared, which is really like plus 3x squared, would be negative 2x squared. I'll bring down that 2x. And how many times is x going to negative 2x squared? Negative 2x. And negative 2x times x minus 1 gives me negative 2x squared. And negative 2x minus 1 gives me plus 2x. And then I'm going to subtract. And then I get 0. And then I'll bring down the minus 1. And then, can x go in to minus 1? I don't think so. So our remainder is going to be minus 1. Our remainder is going to be minus 1. And the way we're going to write that is plus negative 1 over x minus 1. So whatever the remainder is going to go over whatever you're dividing by. Just like you did when we were long dividing in kindergarten, when we very first started this long dividing process, okay? Guys, I'm gonna put one more up for you. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna give you a tip, and then I want you to give it a shot. But, yeah. All right. Let's try this one. Let's do 3x cubed minus 2x plus 5 divided by x minus 3. Okay, so we're going to put x minus 3 on the outside. And watch this. You got to do this. You got to do this in long division, and then when we get to synthetic division later on, you got to do it in synthetic division. But look at this one. I want you to notice that there's no x squared term, but you have to put a placeholder for the x squared term. So I'm going to start this with 3x cubed, but if there's no x squared, I need to keep things lined up, and everything will get all out of whack if you don't put what's called a placeholder. So I'm going to say plus 0x squared. How's that? How does that work for you? Because there's no x squared, I'm going to put plus 0x squared. And then minus 2x, and then plus 5. Okay, so I'm going to look at this x here, and how many times does x go into 3x cubed? Got it. Now we're getting it. goes, x goes into 3x cubed, 3x squared times, and then I multiply. 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. 3x squared times negative 3 is minus 9x squared. 0 minus negative 9x squared, well that's like plus 9x squared, so we would get 9x squared minus 2x. Then x goes into 9x squared plus 9x times. And 9x times x is 9x squared. And 9x times negative 3 is minus 18x. And then we subtract. See how it's just like the same process as what we did when we were first long dividing in preschool, when we were like 4? Or little babies just long dividing. It's like the same thing. So negative 2x minus negative 18x is like negative 2x plus 18x, so that would be 16x plus 5. And then how many times does x go into 16x? Just 16 times. And then so you multiply 16 times x, 16x, 16 times negative 3 is negative 48, and then we'll subtract 5 minus negative 48 is 53. So that would be, so x can't go into 53, right? It doesn't fit, so that's going to be my remainder, and we'll say plus 53 over x minus 3. Anyhow, I hope you liked that one. I hope you like long division. That's going to wrap it up. I'm going to try, gosh, my hair just keeps getting all messed up. I'm going to try to keep it light today, because today is one exciting day because this is the last video I ever have to make, hopefully. And this is for the A-Day kids, this video, but the B-Day kids, they get the real deal, the live instruction. I'm so excited for that. And then A kids, I'll see you Friday. And I'm so excited for that too. Anyhow, thank you for being amazing. Hope you like division. Have a wonderful day.